Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.wordpress.com. Thank you for joining me today, and today we're going to work with one of our new stamp sets, actually a couple of the stamp sets from our new January to June mini catalogue. So that released yesterday, so if you don't have one then let me know and I can post one out to you if you are in the UK. So, Floating and Fluttering, this caught my eye immediately in the catalogue. Do like butterflies, and it comes with these superb dies. So this is a single stamp which can be die cut, and we've got two of those dies as well, which means that those elements can be cut out as well and raised up. And then some of those butterflies are also repeated here to cut them separately as well if you wish. And we've also got an embossing element, so really superb bundle. So they're, what are they called, fluttering dies. Okay, this bundle together is £44, so that's just £1 short of a qualifying order for a celebration item, but I'm sure you could be tempted by all sorts of other things in the catalogue to top that up and secure yourself a free item. And then we're taking the sentiment from Sweet Ice Cream. Okay, so I do like these bold sentiments, and there aren't any in the Floating and Fluttering set. The sample I have for you is this. So say we're not using the dies today, at least not those dies. I have brought in the stitched rectangles, but this could easily be cut on a trimmer if you don't have any dies, or even punched out with one of the label punches. I think that would fit the timeless label. Yep, it would. So that would be an option if you wanted to do that too. Okay. And then the embellishment on here, so if you did want to top up your £44, these are the opal rounds. These are new, and they come, they are actually in the suite with all the seashells, sea and sand. Okay, but they are super duper sparkly, and you know, a cluster of butterflies is called a kaleidoscope, and that's what we've got there. And I'm going to show you how you can do this ink blending technique over the sentiments there as well. So let's get started. Just going to bring in some scrap and a card layer, and we're just going to use some Memento Tuxedo Black to do our background stamping. And I'm going to use this large stamp to do that. Okay, now with a larger stamp, it's easier to take your ink pad to the stamp, and then you can see that it's nice and well coated. And we're just gonna start. We're gonna put that first one down, and we'll just see where we go from there. Just some nice even pressure to get those nice solid black outlines. Lots of light tapping. I mean, just think of the possibilities. I mean, this is just being stamped straight with some ink, but you could heat emboss this. I mean, it would just look superb, wouldn't it, really? And of course, they're going to be flying in all different directions, so we're not going to worry about things being sideways on and whatever. It is supposed to be a bit of a collage-y effect. Okay, so this just takes a few minutes getting that all those stamps into position, but it's going to be so worth it. I was really pleased with my sample. And of course, right, so the colours I've used are actually pretty much, I think, all of them. No, one of them isn't. They're all bright. Sorry, they're all subtles, apart from the Coastal Cabana, which is a bright. But it did seem to fit nicely with the palette. So we've got Petal Pink. We've got Mint Macaron, So Saffron. soft sea foam and Coastal Cabana. Okay. Now, of course, depending on how the stamps build up on the background, you're going to have more of some butterfly and less of others and all that kind of stuff. So you may or may not want that to influence how you position the rest of your stamps on the page, but you want to make sure that there's no gaps that are going to be awkward to fill in either. So let's go there with that one. In fact, you know what, I didn't actually usually when I do background stamping like this, I start in the middle and then you don't end up boxing yourself in, if that makes sense. You know, paint yourself into a corner. Okay, and then we're going to make this fit as best we can in there. Oh, sorry, I think you got my head in there then, didn't you? There we go. Cool. So this is going to be different every time, okay? Which is absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. I'm going to flip that over so it's a little less distracting for the filling in all the colours. So all of these elements have got the little stamps that will fill in the elements. So we're going to start with the foliage, and this is soft sea foam. So I think it's easier to turn the cardstock around and get all those guys filled in. And it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't quite line it up. So don't worry about that at all. What is that poking there? That is actually a leaf, isn't it? But just add some colour. Didn't matter. Right. Okay, so that's that one. We're going to switch to mint. Oh, whoops, mint macaron. Should see the state of my desk today, guys. I mean, I have got so many things to play with. There's a blog hop coming up next weekend, which is all about celebration, so do look out for that. May give you some ideas on some other ways to use products. So I'm pretty much exclusively a card maker, but there will be people in that hop that will make 3D projects, so that might be more to your taste. So on my original sample, the large butterfly was the Coastal Cabana, but just because we can, I'm going to change the colours just so that you've got an idea of what can be achieved with the same colour palette, but is there any more of those? Same colour palette without but with there aren't any more of those. So that just so happens to have turned out with all of those on that side of the design. So it's just kind of random how these will turn out. So that's how that's manifested. And then what I've got next, so Saffron was the small butterfly, which is what I've just done. I think we will make that this sideways one. Ooh. See, I missed that one slightly, but I'm not going to worry about it. or adds to the effect. And that is the edge of that one, is that one as well, isn't it? Any more? I think I got them all. Okay, which leaves petal pink for our large butterfly. Okay, this petal pink is actually quite it's definitely on the orange sort of side, definitely a warmer pink than the other ones in the Stampin' Up palette. It's a gorgeous colour though. And oh, I knew there was a little one somewhere. Right, we've got them all. Yep, got them all. Okay, so that's as quick and easy as it can be to create a background like that. So I hope you like that. Whoops, told you there was too much on my desk. So we're just going to set that down to one side just for a moment whilst I'm just grabbing a scrap of cardstock which I forgot to get out. Let's grab that piece will be fine. And we're going to stamp our sentiment again. We're going to use some the Memento Black just to tie it all together really. And then I can show you this blending technique. Okay, isn't that lovely? That's from Sweet Ice Cream. It's a really, really nice set. Even if you, you know, just the sentiments alone, that is just a really, really stunning set. So, like I said in the intro, I've actually got the stitched rectangles here that I'm going to die cut this with, and this is the smallest of those stitched rectangles. So I'm just going to tack that down and run that through my my big bus. That's what I call it. I've got a mini bus and a big bus now. So of course that would go through the mini if you wanted to use the mini. Okay, now you want to keep hold of your die for a second. I'm going to bring back in this scrap piece of paper, and you're going to put that die back over that die cut. Okay, and we're going to bring in some blending brushes. Okay, these are the bomb. They are brilliant. Just love them. I've only got one clean one now. So I got 6. I was able to order one on pre-order and one in my my sort of on stage pre-order, if you like. Okay, so I'm going to bring in soft sea foam first. Okay, a little bit of ink. So whilst they're soft colours, you don't want to overdo your blending. Okay, this is going to go in the middle of this sentiment. Okay, and that's going to be plenty. Okay. And then we're going to take saffron, hold that die in place, otherwise you won't get a good effect. Bring that in from the end, like that. Not bringing it all the way in, there's just a little halo of white in there as well. Okay, and then a little bit of our petal pink along this other end. So if you start light and build up your colour, you'll get a much better effect, and you won't get sort of splodginess, if you like, if that's a word. Is that a word? It's a word, splodginess. And then when you take off the die, the the bit around the edge where the die was covering is white, and you've got your coloured sentiment, okay, which just gives it a bit of a different look, makes it stand out a little more on the on that busy background. So I'm just going to use some of my edge pieces of dimensional there, and we're just going to stick this to a white card base, and we are pretty much done, apart from our bling, that is, because, you know, bling's cool, right? Get that on there. Reinforce that crease so it stands up. Position our sentiment where we want it to go. Let's have it about there. Oh, let's take the backing off there. It sticks better if you take that off. There's a top tip for you. Take your backings off. There we are. And then our opal rounds. These are just awesome. Take your pick tool is now buried under there. That's it. And we'll use our rule of threes. Although that is quite low down, to be fair. So we'll do something like that this time. Normally I'd have them above and below the sentiment to frame that up and bring your eye in. Okay. So that is it. Really super simple. Same ink palette, but just mixed up in different orders and stuff. The backgrounds have obviously are randomly stamped, so they're going to look a little different, never come out the same every time. So I hope that's given you at least a starting point with the Floating and Fluttering stamp set. Do check it out. Links are in the description. I would love to have you browse my store, and if you did fancy joining Stampin' Up, this is a brilliant time to do it. For just £99 you'll get £130 worth of product, a free shipping, free business pack, and 5 free packs of designer series paper work, which is over £50 worth of product. No better time to join. Okay, super. Thanks ever so much, everybody, for sticking with me and joining in with this tutorial, and I'll see you again real soon. Take care and stay safe. Bye.